Alright guys, so this demo is on doing the eyes. So once again, we have layers here, and then I'm going to have an entirely separate group for just eyes. I'm going to use that pen tool, make sure that the fill is off, and then change the stroke. I'm going to change the stroke color so that it's nice and bright until I go back and use the fill. So, to really make these eyes look realistic, you want to have a little highlight in there. Find a highlight. So I'm going to do this highlight right here, and I'm going to start just by clicking and dragging. Click and drag. Click and drag in the direction that you're going, and then you always finish your path off so that you can make a fill. The next thing I'm going to do on here is the pupil, and actually the pupil is pretty much the same color as the shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of that together. To switch the direction, you press and hold Alt on your keyboard and you drag the handlebar in the direction that you want to go. I'm going to switch this direction. I'm going to hit Alt, and then that part's done. And the next thing I'm going to do here is the pupil. And this path is going to go underneath this path, so it doesn't really matter that I'm not going to be perfect on this. Okay, so now I'm going to do the whites of my eyes, and I'm going to click and drag. Actually, I need to deselect first, then use the pen tool, click and drag. I'm going to click once here, press and hold Alt, click in the direction that I want to go. And I know all these paths are going to go behind each other, and that's fine. And then finish it off. Okay, so that's going to be the white area. Then I need to finish this off by, I could do my shadow up here. I can do this part of my eye right here. So there's a lot of, let me zoom out just a little bit. There's a lot that I can do on this. So once again, here's the pen tool. I need to deselect, grab that pen tool, press and hold Alt to change the direction. Now I put a lot of details on mine. If you want to go with fewer details, you can do that. You've just got to be choosy on which details you need to add to really make it look good. Okay, so I'm going to do this shadow right here. I'm going to bring it back down. And then I'm going to do this shadow over here. Okay. I'm going to do a highlight over here. Actually, I think I'll bring this all the way over to the edge. Okay. Then the last thing I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to use the pencil tool to do the eyebrow. So now I have all of these paths created. I can use my direct selection tool and just drag a square around all of these paths in order to select them. Or what you can do is you can select them over here in your layers panel, and you may need to do this if you have other things that are really close. Press and hold Shift and then just go through your layers panel and click the little blue square to select everything. Okay, so that's all the components of my eye. I'm going to go to Object, Group, and then here's the new group. Double click. I'm going to name it Mom's Eye. So now what I'm ready to do is expand this group, and I'm ready to go through and color everything. So let's blow up on this a little bit, zoom in. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this little highlight. And you have to use your direct selection tool to select these because they are in a group. Otherwise, if I use my selection tool, it'll select the whole group. Okay? See, everything gets selected. So you have to use your direct selection tool. I'm going to select this little highlight to begin with. It is going to have to be on the top of this layer stacking order because it needs to show. I need to use my eyedropper tool. I'm going to select a tone that I think I want to use. If I think that this is too dark or too light, let's reverse these. I can go back and select a different pixel. And the other thing that I can do is if I double click on this fill, I can come over here and select a slightly lighter tone. My suggestion to you is to not go really light because you don't want it to pop out. Okay? So that's already been, I selected this tone. Now I'm going to select the next one in the stacking order, which is this little darker area, which marks my iris and a shadow. I'm going to put this next in line in the stacking order. I might need to change that later on. I might go back and change that. I'm going to select, let's see, okay, this was the color of my pupil. Let's double click on this. And I'm actually going to come over here to my color panel and let's go back and change this. I'm going to add a little bit of green to this and a little bit of cyan. There we go. Okay, I'm going to zoom back out. I just wanted to add a little bit of blue to it so that it would represent the color of my eyes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the white part of my eyes, which is right here. And then move it behind and select a lighter tone for it. Okay. Then I'm going to select the shadow right here and move it up and select a darker tone for it. And then I'm going to select this tone here. Let's see here. We've got, I'll do this shadow here. What is this? Okay, we'll do this tone next. And I think I'm going to make this tone and this tone the same thing. So now that I want to show you guys this, if you want to make the attribute of two separate puddles the same thing, what you need to do is you need to select this and then decide, okay, well I want to make it the same tone as this. What you're going to do is you're going to use your eyedropper tool and then click that puddle and it'll make it exactly the same thing. Okay? And then the next one is this one here. I'm going to move it below everything else and choose a color for it. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. So there's the beginning of my eye. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to do my eyebrows. All of this will be filled in once I do this whole part of my face, but I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm okay with the fact that it's not perfect. You can do a few little adjustments. For instance, right here where I have just some empty space, if you wanted to go through and select this path or this path and select an individual anchor point, you can change those individual anchor points and fill them in a little bit better. You know, you guys have spent all this time on getting to know how to use anchor points. So if you wanted to do something like that, that would be really helpful. Okay. I'm going to hit Alt here and convert this anchor point. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Let's use my Convert Anchor Point tool. Okay. There we go. And then drag that. And now I'm going to use the Direct Selection tool and drag this one anchor point out a little bit. Okay,